lit room with candle lights flickering up against these ivory statues along the walls. The saints of the past of this night world, who carved civilization from wilderness and established this giant walled-off fortress city, stand around you and look down on you. You will occasionally see Llewellyn and Cain walk about and light candles. It is an airy atmosphere of waiting, as you all wait in anticipation for your Inquisitor and Lord. You will walk around, sit by the table, look at each other. Hector walks out and disappears. Feel free to introduce your characters and roleplay.
Been missing for a few of the 2 days we had stayed in order to recover ourselves. Matthias was in deep meditation, if not deep. He was very recluse from the party, as many engines here came visiting him for either insight or regarding certain rituals to take place in order to lessen the burden on their minds. You've seen his form to distort a little, as you may assume new implants may have taken effect from time to time. These lumen light may come from his chest, while his breathing becomes mechanical or like. Nevertheless, he welcomes all who seek wisdom and guidance to be closer to the machine god and the Omnissiah.
You'll see Commissar Rickard in the corner, talking to 2 other commissars and if you're well versed, a Katachan gentleman that's well built, with a chameleon cloak. See that there's a heated discussion going on, and what he called, essentially it's ended with a flip of his arm and him saying, "Get it done!" At which point then he comes across, basically sits with the rest of the group, slowly drums his fingers on the table.
Rook will just be sitting on the table eating breakfast this morning, as he's just using only his new robotic arm to get used to it now. And every now and then it kind of jitters because it's a new attachment to him, and he's trying to get used to the feeling of it, and it might accidentally spill a bowl on Commissar.
Please get a grip of your augmentations.
What?
I only have so many of these.
Well, there's always people to wash them. Also, it's hard to get used to a new arm. That's robotic. It's weird.
Which you'll hear a thug. I know. And he'll take off a glove, and you'll see a augmented arm.
Ah, you got one too. How'd you lose your arm?
with his blind act
Unpleasantly.
of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth.
What? No
Each
details.
circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants,
you
and
want
as the minds
details?
of the circle degenerated and
blowing
descended
off.
farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled.
Hurt.
To restore
A
them,
lot.
each member of the circle had to die, and the artifact
By, I believe it was a bolt shell, or something like that, but I didn't really have time to contemplate what had hit it.
Yeah, that is bad. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's probably worse than mine. Yeah.
Yes, the blinding white pain kinda made me think of other things.
It wasn't the pain that got me. It was just kind of the fatigue after it. That kind of took me out of it. It was burning too. I think it was burning.
Blood loss.
No, actually no. Literally charred off completely. So no blood loss.
Okay, well, Mechanicus. How did you get your augments?
Many of my new organs were replaced willingly, while my feet, they were crushed. Initially, back when I was less blessed, was unaware of the glory of the Messiah.
Well, I feel the longer we live, we will become closer to the Omnissiah as well.
It is often written that flesh betrays, flesh decays. It is only natural to come closer and closer towards perfection.
Well, I don't plan to die. I'm going to live forever.
That's what they always say. Then they get gomed in the head.
Your actions and what you're saying contradict, but I'll leave you to it.
Commissars usually do
This is
outlive
Brian
their
Jo-
troops for a bit.
That is actually a misconception.
Really?
Well, unfortunately so.
Eh.
As for your...
With that, you'll actually see him just look into his recaf cup and just take a moment, and you'll see something that may occur as a bit of emotion in his face. And then he'll just come back up and say, "So, we know when the Inquisitor arrives."
He will come once he finishes whatever he has to do.
Okay.
That's it.
Raises an eyebrow and looks over his shoulder, clearly listening in on your conversation.
There is no need to be concerned. We're here. He will come. Should he need anything from us, we will offer. That's all. It's not for us to question. But it is for us to deliberate on what we should do further, or mayhaps do anything to pass the time. Query target rich. Demand of explanation. How does your new blessed arm fit you? I see you have difficulties.
It's just getting used to it. You don't really get the same nerve feeling. It feels off, but it's actually a pretty good arm, good as my old one.
You may have noticed by now that you still have tactile scent, although to a deadened version of your original. That is because in order for the mechanism to take full effect, it requires to mimic your existing arm. So when you will get shot eventually in said arm, it will feel as if you've been shot in your, well, flesh one.
That is why. Can I just turn off the pain thing?
No, your feeble mind will not be able to resist the machine spirit. You exist in a... How should I say this? You exist with each other, not one possessing the other. Your pain will be its pain will be yours. It's also to limit your movement.
Hey everyone, welcome
as
back
it looks
to another
at your
video.
arm,
Today,
how much of it is replaced by machinery?
All the way up to the shoulder because it was burned completely off. Like like the shoulder part where it connects to your main body. That's the new arm.
Okay. Tapping it twice as you feel your arm relax a bit for no apparent reason. Try doing this in the future. It lessens the stress in the machine.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Elon Musk is gonna whoop his ass.
If Elon
good
lands
trick.
on top of him,
He looks bigger when your opponent is
Written in
5'5".
Elon
Metallica
gets on
Volume
top of
3,
him,
page
no.
37, line 38.
You see, I'm already busy with this Flying for Dummy book. I'm not gonna read another book.
Scripture will help you reach closer to enlightenment. Do not neglect it.
Will enlightenment help me kill stuff better?
It may guard your soul from the worst of all.
That doesn't sound like it'll help me kill better.
It's a matter of perspective.
My soul's protected by the Emperor anyway. I don't need any more from the Omnissiah.
Omniscient protects those deserving of its magnanimosity. You want protection? Earn it. At least that's what the priesthood taught me. Before they send the Myrmidon to break my legs. You must fully appreciate this boon you have received. The Mechanicum does not value life as you would. It is in the opinion of many that your life might be precious, but there's so
This video
much
found
ample
your list of
supply
potential
of it.
traits, aggregated,
It
filling
becomes
out
less
a
and less
checklist of things you
important.
want to explicitly look
Luckily
This
for
is a
all of
checklist
us,
with
due to our
examples
current
of companies. In terms of
circumstances,
researching the
we are
industry,
all
again, I do have some paid
considered
for services, which really help
extreme
in the same industry or
commodities.
trading. The problem is that
For
stocks that
better
have
or
gone through all the
worse.
seek answers to
Checks
as
of
my
the
notes were
Inquisition.
mentioning, or if it's in their interest to keep.
So, I would look
hybrid,
forward to
expensive,
you not
earning
dying.
cedar here in Canada, or I will look
Correction.
into,
Should I change your data entry to unkillable to mostly unkillable?
Yeah, sure. Death comes anyway. Either I die of this or old age. One of the two. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die in this service, though.
You would be the first in the Inquisition to die of old age. How did any of you manage to get tied to the service of Gaster Typh?
Think we are but coins to be spent.
Well, he recruited me straight from the army after an operation that ended in most of my squad being dead. But I was alive, so he said, you lived. You'll take me.
Probably you've seen something you shouldn't, and he taken mercy upon you.
Actually, I barely remember anything besides waking up in a pile of bodies.
Good.
And most of my friends being dead. After that, I kind of stopped getting attached to people.
You should do that. An open mind that question things is like a fortress with large, breached gates. Find value in ignorance and be strong within it. Especially when someone says not to look into things. But you wouldn't have to worry about that, would you? As it taps your mechanical shoulder again.
You guys don't know who that is? His stepdad
See, I
died
focus
in a
on my
submarine
mission and look at
accident,
nothing else.
and the Matrix
Because
has
if
been
you
trying
start
to take
looking
him
too
down,
much, you start
and I'm the
disappearing.
only guy that has this guy's back.
It won't
He lives
disappear
in
any
San
different
Diego,
than
and I
this
invited him to
first
the
way.
show, and apparently he didn't take me up on the offer.
As for you, Commissar,
Concert, which
your
is
answer did not
actually
provide
the best
sufficient
thing you could do with your
explanation to the
stepdad.
query.
That is music that
How
was
did
built
you
for a guy
manage
that's
to get
stepdad
yourselves
is in a
this
submarine.
far?
Where are you? I'm so
Frankly,
sorry. That is stepdad in a submarine music.
not
I
100%
miss
certain.
you. Come on. Stepdad's in a submarine.
I
You're sitting there. Please tell mom this is
can
not
only
her
imagine
fault.
that
Come on.
I
That's
somehow
a
impressed
journalist. The
someone
Matrix
who
after
impressed
him.
upon
And
him
I'll tell you
who
what, Cardi B is officially banned from my shows all weekend. So there you have it.
essentially
Brian, if
took
you're-
me in. The last action I can remember is storming a bridge.
I just paid 14 grand for this. Is this real gold?
Yes, sir.
How much is it?
$13,995.
All
I don't know. I
I
think that
can
should be
really
enough. And now we're
remember
taking it to a pawn
is
shop, which aren't known for giving you the best
smell
deals.
of
Let's see what
blood.
they offer.
Hey, how are you guys?
I just bought this Rolex, and I was curious how much you would
rain,
pay for it. That boy's brand new.
This is a real Rolex.
and
I didn't get scammed. How much would you pay
frankly,
I would do $7,000.
sea of
for it? Would
heretics.
you do 7,000? Would you do 8,500?
7,200. How about that?
Deal.
Deal.
I got an extra
Money.
$200. All right.
As much
Thank
as
you.
I-
We got it. I just paid 14
I'm
grand.
sorry, please.
If you feel you want to share more, please go ahead.
I'm sorry. You're doing a little bit cheating, you know. Maybe
Last
can I show
action,
you a good technique?
I
You can't lift this, no way.
can.
Can I clean a little bit
It's
here?
as though every single time I
No,
try
no,
to
it's my
think of
warm-up.
it, it slips out of my grasp.
60 is my favorite. Hey, clean here.
Remember when exactly you joined the surface of the
Back.
Inquisition?
Oh, it's good exercise. You're doing like this. Like this.
The Inquisition itself,
Yes.
My name is Anatoly. I'm cleaner here. I'm
2 years ago, maybe 3.
Any special operations you've taken with the main squad known as Father, or any secondary squads under the command of Caster Typh?
No, it's always been support.
Query, what were your duty as a support squad?
Essentially that, support, reconnaissance, and essentially support.
Query, how many of the members of your support squad are still alive?
And unfortunately, none. We're talking about the original squad. You were
And those in the Inquisition?
deployed to Mechanicus world, and as the primary group carried out its business, we were also struck as they were. Unfortunately, we believed we were more secure, more undercover. They were for lack of a better word, butchered.
Was it then when you lost your arm?
No.
Is the Forge World in question?
You were actually there when I lost my arm.
Ah, correct. Apologize. Memorance implants tend to fall after a certain age.
It's quite alright. It's been replaced. I am combat effective, so it's all good.
Have you ever been on Seric's Madness? Is this the Forge World you were activating as a support squad for the Inquisition?
I believe that would be classified.
It matters not.
But yes, it was. Shithole of a planet.
You see him inhale as whatever is left of his biological lungs attempt a chuckle in response. And it's the creepiest thing you've ever seen. You're not sure whether he's choking or giving out his last gasp. However, his noting becomes just as energetic.
So, what about yourself?
Spent most of my years in scholarship at Serix. I eventually got deployed as one of the assistants to a Lord Dragon, the military intelligence of the planet. Caster Typh was requested to assist in the investigation of members of the council. We assume that the Fabricator General Seric's Madness may be influenced by unloyal parties, proving our suspicions right. We were under heavy observations and ourselves could not move, but an inquisitorial party, well, you proved far more effective than we expected. As a pleasant surprise, and a welcome one indeed. What are you referring before I became blessed?
This, what he called, you can actually see Rickard. His face is, he's wondering, and then turns around and says, so you were in a different cell?
I have to correct yourself. I am not necessarily part of the Inquisition. I am an attaché at the request of the Inquisitor, sponsored by one of the Magi under your alliance. You have talked with him, or one of you has talked with him, before the other so rudely made me talk for him, as you see him gesticulating and being very uncomfortable that he even listen to someone that's not from the priesthood, you assume.
Makes me wonder how many cells are out there.
I wouldn't know. That would be classified and would fall beyond the prerogative of my duties. But there are. Hector himself has been quite busy coordinating someone. But from what I observe from the military units, they continue their constant routine of patrolling with not much deviation. So it falls upon standard logic that he's doing some unseen movements. people hiding in plain sight, or those being consumed by shadows if you blink. We're definitely not the only ones, but we are the ones with the most authority and resources.
You can see him shift rather uncomfortably. Go. So, how many do you think we can call on?
Our resources and resupply capabilities have almost dried up. By all means necessary, what you see is what we get.
And when the bugs arrive?
I suggest we cross that bridge once we reach it. We are not even aware of how well the cruiser is holding up on orbit. Last time we checked with them, they were under heavy fire by Eldari vessels. We're not the only ones who are having to deal with them.
Fully aware of that.
If they manage to afford anything, they will send it to us. But I wouldn't hold my breath. And I have quite a lung capacity.
If they do arrive soon, we are not ready. We can't hold.
Agreed. Rich, what is your tactical assessment?
I agree. We're not going to be able to hold this planet, that's for sure.
As for our duty to the people, the inhabitants of this planet, there are some grim news. We may not be able to fully evacuate it. In time, at least.
Such a shame.
Yeah, it will fall upon us to move as fast as possible, complete the objective, and by doing so, we might save lives. However, the mutations they present are heavy.
They even leave the planet.
Some of them
hard to convince majority of them. Some, yes. Most of them, they're just gonna stay here.
Once the interrogator shows the propaganda flick with the Tyranids, I doubt there will be any lack of volunteers to flee. The nobility here, I can vouch for their genes at least. Whatever mutations they possess, they have not reached the superficial level. Expected human DNA to be within 95%.
Now, that's at least something. But I would prefer not to leave this planet. I believe we have to fight.
Commissar,
For assessments.
a contradiction has been spotted in your speech. You wish to leave, yet you think you stand a chance on this planet.
I didn't say we stood a chance. I said we have to fight.
I believe our fight will be only there if necessary to buy time. Hopefully it will not come down to that. Hopefully we will be able to release whatever is blocking the machine spirits from properly igniting their motive systems and getting us out of this world. hopefully we'll complete our objectives, but like I said, hopefully.
If we aren't able to, what is your assessments?
Too many have died to reach this place from what I've gathered. The interrogator has lost too much to pull out. If we fail, none.
If we fail, no one's really gonna know or remember. They're gonna see an Inquisitor went missing here, and then they're going to log it down or send a search party, which will probably get eaten by the Tyranids if it does send a search party.
We are unaware of the higher political game, Margurek. A simple man. How I envy you.
See, you just kind of stop thinking about that type of stuff, because it gets complicated, which I don't feel like thinking like that.
We know there's some force that is essentially putting a bubble around this planet.
It has manipulated some of the Eldari. It has interacted with them. Whatever it is unholy. I believe that the Confessor believes so as well.
It's probably the thing at the center, which that kid mentioned. What do they call it again? Indiad? Something? I don't remember.
Nevertheless, its name, it seems to be messing with the navigators as well. We should focus when we're gonna deliver it, but most of the navigators here, we should secure their alliance first. We are unsure of which side they will pick. Either us or the one known as Icarus of the Ordo Hereticus.
Do you think that House Arzum would be able to locate the source of this problem?
If they
suspicions, but
if they could, they would have notified us, as I'm certain they would rather not waste their resources. It is a surprise they probably managed to put so many assets here. As it were, they definitely possess an artifact or something. They're far better off than the rest of the navigators, which works in our favor as they are allied to us, but their commitments start to waver. We should reinforce their allegiance.
politics upon politics.
Is the mark of every prosperous society. Sometimes it's its downfall, but the Imperium has endured for millennia. When I used to be young, I would care very little for the games noblemen would play at their fancy dinner tables. How foolish I was.
Politics are useful, as long as there's not too many of them, which some places have.
There's always too many. As long as there's people wanting something, they will do whatever they can to be the first to reach it.
Some do it for the greater good, and some do it for just personal gain, which is usually ends bad for the people under them.
Yet if you ask each and every one of them, they will both answer that it's for the betterment of the Imperium. Chances are they're all correct, but only one can emerge victorious.
If you actually look over at Rickard, you'll see him looking at Rick with a slight smile on his face, which says, "Oh, the naivety."
Rich, I have to ask, how long have you been under Castletive's influence? Employment, correction, employment.
Not that long. I'm not even that old either.
How old are you?
19.
Apologies, my auditory system may have defunction. May I ask you again your age?
19. Yeah, I look a lot older, don't I? Yeah. What do you think I was?
19.
Yes.
What planet are you from?
Pharaoh World. I forgot the name. It's been so long since I've been there.
They breed them big.
Yes. Yes, they do. I was one of the better ones there, which is why they recruited me. And look at me, my man. You think I'm 19? I mean, you think I'm young? Nah.
Matthias will put one of his hands on your robotic shoulder and say, I am afraid that work travel may have affected you severely. Were you like this before you boarded a ship?
Yeah, I got stronger as the years went on, but yeah, pretty much.
We should really investigate the Gallard field on Chestertive's ship.
Nah, it's probably nothing to do with the warp, just genetics. Better than most.
I'm sorry, there's little I can help with that. Say, no, you're too old. I cannot recommend you to the priesthood. Not that I could mentor you to take the exams, but I'm sorry.
On the planet was 40 years old, though. That might explain it.
It is a federal world. I'm surprised your average lifespan is 40.
Exactly. He was a legend. I wonder if he's still alive.
Wow.
Well, glad I wasn't posted to your regiment. I'm assuming you have ritualistic jewels?
Yeah, you gotta prove who's the strongest, my man, to lead.
Yes. They're all like you. Getting in the middle of that probably wouldn't be agreeable.
You see, that's why I said my squad was one of the best. And they're all dead. But they were one of the best. When it comes to shock troops. Because, look at me on my own. Entire squad of people like me. You can see what happens.
Of bastards.
Would still measure a squad of Kidian shock troops against you.
Range, they'd probably destroy us. Up close, well, fair game.
Equal fight.
Yep.
Equal fight because we are the best.
Best in overall.
Rich, are you aware of the situation that our Inquisitor is facing as of late?
I heard he has some problems, but I don't look into it that much.
Would you like to know more?
Would this reduce my faith in him? Or make me suspicious of stuff?
Whether it does or not, it's best you know already. Chances are you've been informed, but you may have skipped the briefing. By the way, how often do you participate in the optional briefings?
They're optional for a reason.
They are optional just in name.
Well, you see, when no one drags me to them, I'm never there.
I see. Well, are you aware of the government body of the Askellon sector.
The what now?
I believe they are the government of Askellon sector, where all of these planets you know of and those fancy maps you may have seen, this is the sector, and the government, it's not in the best of favors of Caster life. From what I've gathered, they attempted to assassinate him. The sector government, for reasons unknown to me as of late.
Probably hurt their ego.
I know little of why or what, but it wouldn't be the first time a good man has been prosecuted unjustly. Mayhaps they aren't even aware of the kill order they've sent, but that's another matter entirely, how dedicated they were to killing him. Obviously, they failed. From what I learned, a elite group of acolytes managed to rescue him, but not without enormous losses.
When the sector government wants to kill you, they send the best they have, I guess. Especially an Inquisitor.
Indeed. And I presume his ingenuity saved him yet again. I've heard many words said about him while I worked on Seric's madness, but fool and easily killed were not words that escaped the voice box of many Templists. More words of reverence and runes of might has been plastered alongside with his name. The Mageddon has a lot of vested interest in Caster's life continuing permit of existence, as he has proven a steadfast ally, and someone who is more reasonable than others, respecting the Treaty of Mars and everything.
Always good to have friends. In the Mechanicum, especially.
Indeed, but we have friends of both the Mechanicum and, as he turns around and looks at the back of Archconfessor Kane, he says, and the Minestoron is a feat in of itself.
Yeah, you usually have to side with one or the other. Impressive they actually got both.
Yet power does not come without sacrifices, so what did he have to pay for this to happen? One wonders. As he seems to tap some parts of his bodies, and as you see one of his hands go deeper into his cloak, you hear a tap, but it's way deeper than where his chest should be. Nevertheless, it just shows just how good of a leader and politician he is.
So, being that he's tapped something under his chest, you can see Rickard was going to actually say something, but the second that he taps that, just gives him a deathly stare, goes quiet. Is this being recorded?
No, I do not rely on weaker spirits in order to record information. The light of my mind is far superior, augmented as it is. But the proper functioning of mechanism requires the blessed touch of an engineer of at least the rank of a minstrel. As to count them, my internal implants are no different. As you are aware, I have installed an additional pair of lines and life supports. They are jittery, not communicating well with the rest of my form. I'm trying to mediate as we speak.
That's good. Essentially, the way I look at it, anything said between us is in confidence.
I wouldn't be so sure. These holes are holes. There are people with capabilities.
Oh, there are definitely people listening.
So I wouldn't suggest saying something you wouldn't even dare to think. Especially with the purges. By the way...
You think I would? You think...
I believe you at first and think never.
Well, I really can't argue against that.
At least you know.
I sometimes can be a bit, let's say, single-minded.
I say 70% of the time.
Recognizing the weakness is the first step. Improving, exercising it, and improving on your strong points is the second. I suggest you start working on the second step. Fast.
Well, we'll see if we have time to do that.
Indeed. Time's a luxury I'm afraid it's not an ample supply as of late.
Indeed.
Rich. No, Commissar, you were saying.
Oh, please, carry on.
Rich, out of curiosity, your way of... I presume it's called fighting, although I myself am... Where did you learn to wield such a weapon? As he seems to restrain himself from saying more colorful words.
You see, I took this weapon with me as I got off planet, and I've been using it since. I received formal training, but that doesn't really work with this that well. Most of it's improvising and experience over the years of crushing people.
So if I get this straight, you self-educated yourself by finding the nearest heavy object and swinging it until you learn how to swing it better.
Yeah, pretty much. You build little techniques here and there to make it better, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And you know the right places to hit, and the right ways to get through armor of most things.
Just like an orc.
Yeah, they're fun to fight.
You remind me of a former colleague. You would have gotten very well with each other. Spitting image, just as simple as you.
Ignorance is bliss.
As he loved to keep reminding me. You'd be surprised how often I get these snaps of wisdom from people I would not expect. But as I grew older, I just tend to listen and absorb. The Omnissiah does not grant insight out of pity or anything, just those deserving, those willing to listen.
Listening to people is always good, as long as they're actually saying stuff good.
Agreed.
If they
Just
start
like
going
me.
a bit off the path, well, you gotta correct them by any means necessary.
I don't think as such, or you'd find yourself looking at a superior with unkind eyes, and so, in return, you may find it difficult to progress your career. But I appreciate your bravado.
Well, you see, we're in the Inquisition now. There's not many people above us besides other people in the Inquisition, and most of them know how to think right.
You are aware of how well we are with the Ordo Hereticus right now, correct?
I said most of them, for a reason.
By your logic, it would be all of them, unless you have interacted with different bodies of this organization.
Nah,
I see. How about you, Commissar? The Progenium seems to have instilled a certain skill set in you. How was your education?
Brutal. If you want a simple explanation, it was brutal.
of course it has to be. Why else would we get, you, other commissars, Sisters of Battle, right? Right? They go there? And something else also goes there. I don't remember.
Tempest and Scions.
Oh yeah, those guys. They're usually pompous for some reason. Whatever.
And if they are devout enough, the Sisters of Battle. But they finish their training elsewhere.
They became adepts at an early age in their shoot of whatever military encampment the Minas Storm possesses. That's where they finish the rest of their training. The men remain, and fate decides whether they become commissars, Tempest Scions, acolytes, and the best of progeniums, even inquisitors, as our own has the same upbringing.
Not entirely true. Men and women can both become commissars.
Of course.
For example, there are 2 commissars on this planet that graduated with me. There's Commissar de Galno and there's Commissar Rittenhoff. Our final test was to hunt down the 4th member of our squad. Didn't make the grade.
Well, that builds tough soldiers, that's for sure.
Yes, he was out of his misery.
Yeah, when the other option is becoming one of those guys on the ships, it's more pleasant to get put down.
Some of them, they are so good or possess such talents that they disappear. Rumor has it they go straight to one of the Assassinorum temples.
Yeah, that is the 6th option if you're just that good at certain stuff.
Or that you fail, and the Eversort temple requires extra meat.
Those guys are insane.
I had to perform the rites of ignition on one of its cryopods. Even though its life supports were suspended, and it shouldn't be alive, I still could feel its eyes over my form as I closed its casket before it was launched.
Yeah, I saw the aftermath of one of those guys at a Seneza fortress. almost everyone in that fortress was dead.
I heard that from one of the medicus that the alchemical compounds in their bloodstream creates a violent reaction with oxygen once their heart stops beating. Is it true? Do they actually explode once they die? Or I pray that it died before you reached its possession.
Well, you see, we never found a body. We just found bits and pieces everywhere.
Answer yet to be determined to my question. As you see him a bit somewhat disappointed.
Well, it probably did, because I think there was a command tent. There was not a tent any longer once we got there. Looked like it was blown up by something, but we can't confirm that. None of us wanted to check that.
Assassinorum is actually true then.
Though very little it is known. The only reason I know most of it was because I worked under the Lord Dragons. Here, bits and bobs of information.
The only reason I know about it is because I just see them every now and then. Most of the sniper ones, they just kind of sit there for a long time, and I don't know what they do. I get bored to looking at them.
I always thought they were a myth.
No, they exist. You just have to find them, or they find you. You hope they don't find you.
Chances are, if you see one, it's because they want you to.
Yep.
And from the stories just from the stories I've heard, I'd prefer them not to find me.
I do hear that they're shape-shifting ones. Never seen that one though.
I think it would make sense since they're the shape-shifting ones. Or perhaps you've seen it, but it may have looked like one of your long-lost friends. They may have disappeared soon after, but you haven't seen why or how it happened.
Yeah, maybe. The assassins are kind of scary when you start thinking about them. Especially the Eversor one. That one I hear can take out the heretic Space Marines by itself.
Assassinorum paid visit once to my own planet, the feudal world. Even now I am afraid to search too much, but in the records they were called sirens. They possess this enormous skull, not that of a human. I was young at the time, barely made adventurer. Those were the words we used for mercenaries back home. And all I could feel was fear from wherever it was, and I ran the opposite direction as fast as possible.
I'd never heard or seen those ones at all. Probably a bigger secret than the rest of them.
I have found no records of it, just there was this tech priest who was broken beyond repair. Not his body, but his mind. Its light has been extinguished. Kept talking about the sirens. Nobody could decode what he said, but the look he had, it looked familiar as I once reached an inn, and my face, organic at the time, had the same one. Poor adept. He got servitorized, mind wiped for his own good.
Yep. Probably an offshoot of the ones that feel weird anytime you go near them. Those guys.
I have never met one.
I think I met one, but I felt weird as soon as I walked next to someone, and that was weird. Never talked to that guy again. He felt weird. Felt sick just being near him. Didn't live long, from what I remember. He died basically the next battle. Shots in the back, though. suspicious.
I wonder why. Either way, best not to talk about this. By the way, regarding the purges, how was your experience with that?
The what?
You must have been a new addition, indeed. Back on an operation after Seric's madness on Rund, the Inquisitor has found that some of the acolytes and members on the ship aren't fully dedicated to the investigation. He has contracted multiple third parties, but ones that have spearheaded the effort to purge reluctant personnel, as they called it, was the Assassinorum. They didn't send any of the temples, or at least that we're aware of, but I do believe that falls under their job listing to not be really aware whether they're active or not. But there were a lot of murder cults present that excised whatever reluctances there were present in our acolytes and ship's crew.
No, you can't just leave people that might break. Or betray you.
That was the issue. They were planning to do so once they realized that we're not fully sponsored by the Inquisition or the Scepter Governor. They wanted a way out, a way to a better life. But conviction faced one with the other. The strongest wins, and the Assassinorum was called. All that were against the Astertype have been removed. Certainly you have been also interviewed at some time. Men wearing black robes. Perhaps jogs your memories.
Oh yeah. They did come asking questions that I thought were kind of stupid.
I expected as much. Probably they assumed you have no intent or capabilities of affecting the Inquisitor. Either way, you're lucky.
Perks of being a young one to this thing, I guess.
It did. How about you, Commissar? How was your interview?
Tumultuous. It did not sit well with me. Apparently not with them either. Yes. I suppose spitting in his face was probably not the best course of action.
Men have died for less. You must have found someone that really likes to do his job, or build a case against you. Or mayhaps you've shown zealotry above and beyond.
What? Zealotry because I would not turn against my Inquisitor, because I would not turn against the Emperor, his holy work.
Well, whatever they decided, whatever form of scoring of manifesting their decision, it's obvious that they chose to let you live.
Yes. But they did leave me with a little present.
Also,
let's just say that I can't feel my extremities like I used to.
well, certainly for the new arm of yours you won't, as it points to your prosthetic.
was some substance.
I see.
It's kind of, let's say, burnt a little.
Burnt to the point you can't feel it, or you can still feel the pain.
You see, Matthias, and the confessor more and more and says, "Tell me, do any of you know anything about secondary operations after our acquisition of intelligence, after our takedown of that rogue trader?"
See, once it's out of my field of view for stuff, I don't look into it anymore. They give us what we need, at least.
Rick, you are just a person that...
We will soon enough, but first I'm going to the toilet. Keep on role-playing, guys.
So too.
Rick, you are just a person that just looks directly ahead.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You can't be suspicious of anything if you don't see it.
Like it. Perhaps I won't have to execute you after all. You'll see a grin on his face.
Nah, you probably couldn't execute me. Or at least with one clean shot you couldn't.
Well, perhaps maybe with the blade then.
You'd have to cut pretty deep. Even my skin is tougher than most people.
Well, once this mission is over, the first cut.
Well, that's if we live to see the end of this, which, with the bugs, probably not, but never know. The Emperor protects.
Not against my sword.
I would probably be able to dunk under it. Duck. Why'd I say dunk? Words.
Oh, I shall even give you fair warning. I plan to cut your cheek, the left one. So you have fair warning. Protect it.
We'll see, Commissar. If the day ever comes. Also, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to tell when you're about to do it, because I can kind of see when you really want to execute someone or do anything to someone. Especially when you start reaching to your pocket. Suspiciously.
No, this is just going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. A spar is
Sparring
always
match.
Yes.
A sparring match.
Yes. The spar. Yeah, spars are always fun. You see who's ever best in the squad. Especially at melee. You can never tell who's best at shooting, because it's shooting. One shot and you win.
Indeed, and that is why I'm saying. A left cheek will have a new scar. Don't worry, I'm sure the Medicaid can patch it up and you will look very handsome afterwards. You can tell them how that you defeated a Carnifex or something like that.
I don't think that... Actually, if I have enough time, I'll probably kill a Carnifex. Enough hits to the head can kill anything.
You've not met the bugs before, have you?
I have fought a Lictor, and that is about it.
Lictor?
Yeah, one of those stealth ones. Yeah, those ones are vicious.
Assuming you won.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no. None of the people died. Some guy lost his leg, though. got him a robot one, so he was fine.
That is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, it was trying to infiltrate the camp and kill one of the commanders, or just all of them. I'm not sure how deadly that thing is in a room full of people without weapons.
It's pretty deadly.
Yep, I've heard stories making people go insane or killing entire houses. There was one story about a guy who kept getting tortured by one, killing everyone around him but left him alive. Over and over again, until he went insane. He was the planetary governor though, so that does make sense. Until a detachment of Katachan came and killed it. They're good at that. Like, really good at it. Apparently, they can't even touch their planet either.
That's interesting.
Never seen one myself. Only heard it with a vox.
Yeah. Tyranids are also kind of terrifying.
Brutal.
Especially in the swarms. They always come in waves.
Yep, indeed they do. You have no idea.
I feel blessed every day when I don't have to face such opponents. Yet I fear that the Omnissiah will soon test us. In regards to that, I believe now would be the appropriate time to take the pulse of the other members of Inquisitorial Assets. What are their thoughts on the investigations? What are their hopes, their ambitions? What is their counsel? I believe such answers should be sought out. Who should we begin to question?
Flip a coin?
Well, what are your thoughts of our colleagues?
Well, we went in to get the rogue trader. Whelan was supposed to lead the breaching party to the front. She didn't appear. So I have little to say to her.
Right.
That doesn't sound like a sister of battle. They always up for a fight.
I disagree. I'm not aware whether or not she was part of the QRF. But from what the reports I've read, they've made excellent time. Usually such support comes after 10 minutes. They made it so that they could be in ambush and reach our location in less than 1. Of course, they goes without saying that they had faced some resistances from the persons that were left alive above, as we've only engaged with 2 of them. The other 2 may have attempted to hail support, and they may have to have fought on the streets, or keep the public from wandering into deep. It was a messy situation, but eventually they did came faster than they would have any right to. They should be commended.
It's possible that in the midst of battle, with your better prospects, you have more influence. Not influence, more deceptive abilities on this. However, I did not see her And yes,
I also am not aware of how much she was a part of the quick response force. But what I do know is that they were effective. They did meet us in the end. That does not excuse the fact that it was our duty to take down the target, not theirs. Their support was a luxury that we could afford only at the price of time.
without a doubt. But what I'm trying to say is, I have concerns.
What such concerns?
I would never speak ill of a sister, but I believe that past missions have had an effect on her. And I believe that I may have made a error in judgment in bringing her down. She may have needed more time.
I disagree. From what I've seen of her records available to me, she has grown too wary of not being in the field. Last time she was not part of the main support squad. Her team was faced with difficulties. They were about to be mind wiped on Serich. Thankfully, the main squad known as Father was able to save her from such fate.
I believe, and he's going to look through a book. If you actually look over, you can actually see his Duskin's handwriting. I believe she was the only survivor and was essentially going to be lobotomized.
Yes, mind wipe. But there was another with her, from what I know. The extent of his injuries were far greater. The process of mind wipe must have reached him first. Second was the sister.
If I had known this, found this beforehand. Yes.
Like I said, politics and everything. The Mechanicum itself is not immune to this. Scholars we are, but we serve for different purposes. We worship the only Sayas in different ways, and some of us are more zealous than others, leading to mayhaps errors. Either way, I believe we should ask the Ash Confessor of what his opinion is of our investigation so far.
Indeed.
What do you think, Rick? Looking forward to confessing your sins to the Arch Confessor?
Sins? My only sin is doing my job.
Then you better confess with that roaring voice of yours how good of a job you've done soon enough.
Just remember, Rick, innocence proves nothing.
As you'd see him pull out from underneath his cloak this telescopic staff, which extends to his men catcher's original form, as he uses it more as a walking stick. You assume that whatever cybernetical procedures he has been subject to has left him with quite some time to recover. But eventually he does manage to rise up from the chair. Or off from the stone bench.
Well, come on, old man.
Wait, that does remind me, how old are you?
The inn which my sons built was destroyed 120 years ago. That's as far as my memory goes.
Ah. Yeah, you are old.
Well, I have been blessed with vitality by the old Messiah.
Yeah, you Mechanicum guys usually live for a long time.
Some live far shorter lives because of their ambition. I was lucky to tame mine in time. Yet I fell prey to it, and here I am.
Everybody has a bit of ambition.
It is to make sure we're not consumed by it. But that's a story for another time. Let us go. Talk to the confessor. As I presume we shuffle our way towards him. Finally, the GM gets the bit of role playing.
What do you do?
So, both Rick, Commissar Reichelt, and the shambling form of Matthias will, with easy steps and gestures as to not cross on knees or anything, approach the arch-confessor. Matthias himself approaches him as he would face another scholar or a man of the cloth.
Okay. He will stand there and pray.
Arch-confessor, if you don't mind, we wish to ask for your insight.
He is silent.
With his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of
If
Nosgoth.
this is a good
Each
time,
circle member was bonded to the pillar he served.
as a Metrodendra will come from its cloaks to take a better reading of the Arch-confessor's form.
He will turn around and you will watch this annoyed look on his face. Llewellyn steps up and you can hear the squeaking of her leather straps and weapons as she sort of poses next to the confessor. I was in the middle of a prayer. He closes the book slowly.
You're a man of many talents, being able to pray and also distribute your attention to our conversation. As he would see the Metrodendra had never stopped looking in his direction.
He will just stand there and look at you. You see an aura of annoyance on his face.
I wish to ask you, what are your thoughts of the current proceedings of our operations?
Did you recover the book? The diary?
The interrogator, the one known as none other than Samuel Spade, is leading the studies. He is most likely presenting his findings to the Inquisitor or still contemplating the informations within it. Soon enough, all of us will receive a report of his findings.
Where is it?
It is with Interrogator Samuel.
Bring it here.
Rich, if you'd be so kind, go to the Pantheons of Saints archive That is most likely what you'll find in Delegator. Ask him for the book. The journal.
Alright. And Rick walks off to the Pantheon of Saints.
You have arrived.
You just go into a lower level. You probably meet Sam. You'll ask for a book. You will reluctantly give it to you after a few notes. You'll come back. In the meantime, I will ask the Archconfessor, what prayer were you administrating, Archconfessor?
I would be most happy to have you join me. He will reach out a hand.
Whole incense will come from within the robes of Matthias, and from whatever vestiges of his face still remain, and say, I believe our form of worship differs greatly. But I am...
It may not differ as much as you think. For what you believe is the machine god is in fact the Emperor, reaching through the Materium. For he is the only one who can hear you. He'll slowly open the book.
Of course, astute observation, standard in nature. The Omnissiah is the physical representation of the machine god. That is correct. I see that, unlike others of your kind, you really do worship him with love.
It is our shield. It is our only hope. And so we pray. Dear God Emperor.
Yet you are...
closes his eyes.
Yet you still do not hesitate to wield contempt as just as a fervent shield, do you?
Do not speak during the prayer. He opens the book and slowly begins to recite. He looks to you when he's about halfway through the first verse. And you can do a scholastic lore. Philosophers. This is an obscure text, which of course, him studying to be a cardinal, he has a large collection of tomes with him wherever he goes.
Oh, gentlemen, feel free to roll.
You,
Success with 5 additional.
You go back and forth and you mechanically repeat the prayers, having memorized them. He looks back at you, kind of pleased. So our teachings have not been in vain.
We are both men of cloth. We both seek guidance from the Almighty. Unlike my other brothers, I am more attuned to divinity. They focus on his physical representation. I focus on the messages he subtly sends us in the knowledge that is found only within prayers and meditation.
The Materium, presents a unique opportunity to re-evaluate what is matter. What is this that we are made of, that can be so easily dissolved? What are we composed of? If we can speak across time and space, using our minds, are we really these bodies? Is this all? He looks across the room. Would a telepath be able to speak across space and time if we were limited to this? He kind of dangles your mechadendrite as it shakes your backpack back and forth. You kind of stagger back and forth on your feet. This is nothing compared to the power of the Materium, and nothing compared to the ruinous powers who are present among us now. He begins to slowly walk across the floor. Our psyches have felt a force more powerful than anything we've faced before. Deep underground. Perhaps Alexio has something to say about this presence.
His journal, without doubt, will provide insight.
And your task is to interpret that insight. What did he find? Can we undo the storm? Can we save this world? Can we save Askellon?
Only the Omniscient knows, for he is the manifestation of intelligence for us mortals. We will soon find out.
He has a slight confidence of a snickering smile. If only it were that simple. Now, we have reports that some of our men are deserting.
Probably not.
The enemy has troops within our walls. They may be listening to this very conversation. Looks up at the candles sort of dramatically flickering as he says that. They may be in this room. Somewhere. Lurking. He looks around and you feel this airy silence. You can hear a pinpoint pin drop. So,
Soon enough, through the silence, the tapping of feet will echo, as I presume it would be fast enough to bring the journal of Alexios at this point.
Hey,
he's kind
I
of
got the
aloof
book.
expression. His eyes dart up at you, Rick.
I got the book you guys wanted. Here you go. Which one
Perhaps it
of
would
you
be
want?
best if your investigator read it for us. When he returns in due time. Now, you asked of the Inquisitor. I will be remiss if I did not tell you that he has arrived. I am protecting him, but he is near. Perhaps he can even hear the very words we speak, right in this very moment. He looks to the open door. So, speak wisely.
Why would our own forces dare to desert us in such a moment, after so many sacrifices? What is your hypothesis, Archconfessor?
Our presence has been known for a long time. They know to strike the heart of our operation. If they come for the city at all, they are coming for us. The Inquisitor. He is our king, our protector, and we must be his shield.
What do you think is the nature of our enemy? Our main opposition? Is it the Hereticus, the Xenos, or something else?
The enemy
Perhaps.
within, the enemy without, and the enemy beyond. The internal question of the Inquisition, for which there is no answer. That is why you are here.
What are your opinions of our operations? We find our current capabilities pleasing. What are your thoughts as we proceed forward?
Roll an influence test.
Fuck. I don't presume I can get a bonus from Game Ninja from the Pet Priest, can I?
Any of you can do it.
Well, guys, feel free. Roll it.
First roll counts.
Ooh. Success with 1.
I commend your effort to train the locals. However, it is too little, too late. We will need more equipment. Perhaps there is something the city is withholding from us. I have heard whispers of a secret tech cult. You should inquire the king about this.
What about the treasurer, his family? We were focusing on extracting intelligence, but the other forces, was his family secured?
If his family are to die for our mission, it is a small sacrifice he must make to save the system. Do not spend time on it unless it is necessary.
You would hear the friction of steel on steel as Matthias grips his man-catcher-like staff tighter. Those words. And continue saying, What is your relationship to the Inquisitor Archconfessor? I am aware of his education, but how long do you know him?
Do an inquiry test, -10.
Holy shit. Can I use intelligence instead of fellowship?
Nope.
You fuck. Bruh, Rich coming in. Rich, say how you came in and asked it more kindly.
As Rick starts tapping in, he heard the conversation. He just walks in, and I have your book here for you, like you asked for. I forgot which one of you asked for it, but anyway, here you go. He just hands it off to Data Predator. I mean, what were you talking about?
Probably confused, and with more ease in the atmosphere, the Archconfessor is more willing to open up.
He just looks at the book.
She has the ring ready.
Rick sees him looking at the book, takes it from Data Predator, hands it over to him instead.
Oh, yeah. So close as much. Failure with 7. Matthias is. He looks at the dead priest. His form is. Well, perhaps from his experience or his with the mechanicum or just his visage. He does not seem trustworthy.
If my relation with the Inquisitor is confusing to you, I suggest you read your mission briefing again.
I doubt that all information is contained within the mission briefing.
So you doubt my authorship?
I know that you have an intimate relations with him as a father will protect the son. The question is, what are you protecting him from? Surely
You are
not
in no
just the
position
enemy.
to ask me questions. Continue on this line of inquiry, and I will grow ever so tired.
Of course.
Know your place.
What did I miss? When did it get hostile in this place? Well,
Go
whatever.
to the table and we'll just stroke the book. A priceless artifact. Perhaps you should seal it. Encase it.
It will be contained in the arms of capable individuals. There is no place safer. But we are all aware of its presence and its security. It
Why
will
do you
not
not
be
seal
lost. We will find a safe that has been established within these catacombs. I will see to it personally that it will be sealed until such a time it is to retrieve it.
He just raises an eyebrow.
Now, if you would, as the manipulator metadendrite will reach, but not too far into his personal space, in awaiting the journal to be dropped in its mechanical mandibles. If you'd be so kind to give it back, we will place it in a secure location.
The confessor never held it.
I will get it from later then. My bad. And then was like, we will bother you no further, confessor. And I personally wish you a successful prayer session. May our God answer your prayers.
Yours as well.
He often does.
He returns to the book.
Matthias will lead the rest of the group down into the catacombs where there's a secure location where we can store the journal.
I thought one of you was going to read it. Why'd you make me get it if none of you were going to read it?
The confessor wanted it to see it for himself, to verify its existence.
Open the book. So he could have just looked at it from afar. I didn't need to get it then.
Rich, you do not understand politics.
That was politics?
It was to test our willingness to listen to him.
I'm going to stop questioning this now.
Which point you'll have a point-to-point, and it'll be in Battle Cantrip, which says concerns.
The Archconfessor, his intentions are definitely
And
pure.
you'll get another one saying non-verbal communication.
The Matthias will. do not hear the sound coming from his phone, but through the microbit in your ears, and you hear it as clearly as possible as if he's whispering in your very ears through the microbit, saying, "The Archconfessor he is pure. He does have faith in the Inquisitor. He is as a father would be to his son. He will not betray the Inquisitor, but I fear that his skewed perception of him will eventually lead to consequences."
Rick signs they're related.
From what I've read, remember our talk about the Schola Progenium? Inquisitor hasn't climbed the ranks. He was groomed to be an Inquisitor. He received the best the scholar could provide, his education on par with nothing we could ever hope to ever experience or see.
Huh.
You all get an inspiration point before I forget it. You will walk down the stairs and enter a dark, underground librarium. Old chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. A cobblestone mixing with dirt and sand. It smells wet and it is humid. You can hear occasional dripping in the background. You look around and you see shelves and shelves of tomes. There is a layer of some kind of film, protective film, laid on top in front of the books, which can be peeled back.
It takes many forms, but repositories of knowledge can be found everywhere. Small shrines to the Omnissiah. Books. It's been long since I've seen such physical forms for data.
Yeah, books are good. They can be used as weapons if you find a heavy enough one. They're good.
I've heard something about the Ministerum, the Adepta Sororitas, thinking much in the same ways. If only you were female, maybe you would have been an Adepta Sororitas, would you, Rick?
What? Nah, I like my little stick.
Well, best
I
of luck.
wouldn't have as big muscles if I was a female. Look at these flexes.
I'm glad that you enjoy the bounties of life, but do not admire too much your fleshy form. In time, you will have to adapt to its decaying form. It will not last you forever. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, there's probably some medication to help with that. Yeah, probably. Or I'd be dead by then. I feel like I'm gonna die before I reach old age.
Well, at least your flesh will not taste the ravages of the destroyer.
Exactly. Live young, die fast. I think. Is that a saying? There's something like a saying like that.
It comes in many forms, yet I assure you, every planet has a form of that. You are not the only one who would believe that, especially at your age.
Yeah.
Indeed. Wolf is always at your back, breathing down your neck.
I believe I also said saying when I was a young courtesan at the noble's court. To be young again, trying to sway his daughter's heart in order to get a better contract on our pay. We were forced out of his mansion as fast as you'd see a Hammerset bottle being ravaged by thirsty noblemen.
Why didn't you just punch them?
The guards were a lot meaner than you. Rich. Well,
I
on
doubt
par with you, at least.
on par, acceptable, meaner than me. I doubt.
So you will
You.
so you will understand my hesitation. Punch said Noble.
You see,
Okay.
get in an honor duel with him and get all his stuff. Yes.
One could say it's better to try and fail. Fail to try.
All I know is that I made it out alive. And it was a good story to tell for several years. Many of the details now escape me, however.
How many years ago was this?
I do not know.
He's already forgetting stuff. That's just how old it is.
It is part of my education. Memorancer implants, they only focus on valuable data, that which possesses no interest in furthering sciences and the interests of the Mechanicum. I have to put effort in the vestiges of my remaining hemispheres to keep hold of those memories.
Couldn't you have just made up an excuse of like it was social science or something? Social science exists, right? I'm not just making that up, right?
I am not aware of such programs of research.
I thought they existed. Let's say social talking to people is like magic. Or is it silver tongue? Something.
Social science, is that like something like intelligence gathering?
I think so. I think it's something to do with talking better, or at least getting people to talk to you better. I think.
Oh, I should be well versed in that.
That was a joke, right, Commissar?
I believe my lungs have failed me and life supports have kicked in.
Aye. What's wrong? It's being serious.
You see, Commissar, I think you're the opposite of what this social science goal is. I think you are the type to go straight up to someone and say, "Tell me all you know, or I kill you." I feel like that's the type of thing you would do.
Matthias will sit on some chairs and take a momentary pause to catch his breath.
I'm sure Matthias can say that is the most direct and efficient approach.
Efficiency, I kind of doubt. Direct, yes. Efficiency, that I don't think that's gonna work most of the time.
You're saying I'm not charismatic?
Yeah, no, I don't think you are. It's like going up to a woman and say, "I want you. Come to my house." I don't think it's gonna work. Even on my planet, it didn't work.
I feel you're projecting.
No, I just saw other people try that. It never worked. Actually, it did work once. That guy was really good at it. I don't know why, but he was good at it.
Well, it hurts my feelings.
Sorry, I guess?
Thought I was the funny one of the group.
You are funny. You are. In your own way.
You're just saying this because I have a bolt pistol, aren't you?
No? 50%, yeah.
Oh well. So, where are we gonna hide this thing then?
Probably a place they never expect. Top shelf. Yeah. Most people hide stuff in the middle for some reason. They think it's a hidden handle or something. I don't know why. A lot of spy things like that. They never expect the top shelf. Kind of think people put it in the middle because it's easy to reach.
Generally because most aren't as big as you.
Yeah. Nah, I think they put it in the middle because it's easy to reach. Also, you don't want to keep doing that every time. You want to get your secret stash. You have to go all the way to the top. Most people aren't going to do that, which is why we should hide at the top.
Indeed. Let's do that. Be behind a different book. Parchment.
Yeah. Hide it nice and sneaky, yeah. No one's gonna expect it. Oh, wait. There's no cameras here, right?
Also, I'd like to actually point out that most people hide it on the top shelf.
They do? I thought it was the middle. Huh.
Oh.
Maybe under the book cover. Bookcase. Maybe under. Yeah. They never expect under it, yeah.
Or we just take it with us and give it back to Sam.
I thought we were supposed to hide it, though. Sam probably has the better idea. Yeah. Yeah, Sam's the idea guy. Yeah. And the talking guy. And the leader guy. He's a lot of guys, yeah.
Well, at least I'm the charismatic guy.
You're the commissar guy. That's its own thing. Starts with C. Still not charismatic. Charismatic would also belong to Sam. Yeah.
Well, then,
a lot of the things would belong
by the looks of it, we can all retire and just leave it up to Sam then.
Yeah, probably, yeah. He seems really good at talking to people. It's kind of unnatural how good he is at talking to people. And shooting. Yeah. Also a good shot, too. And smart.
Just out of curiosity, is Mateus so right?
He did say he got a new pair of lungs, which, aren't reacting well to his body. He'll be fine. It's Mechanicus. They know what they're doing.
I think he's dead.
No, I think he's just restarting, rebooting. Yeah. I think I hear an engine roaring somewhere. I think smoke's coming out of his chest. Nah, it's probably fine.
Smoke coming out of your chest is generally not a good thing.
It's Mechanicus. They have a lot of stuff coming out of them. They got those weird little things, weird little tentacle things, incense. The little smoke chamber things. They have a lot of stuff.
A lot of pointy.
Yeah. It's kind of strange it isn't talking, though. It's kind of worrying.
You'll see, what do you call it? Car go up and go. Oh. He's out of it.
Yeah, maybe he's respecting back on all his memories. Yeah, he's old. Yeah. We started talking about the past. He's probably reflecting on all the stuff he's done. Yeah.
Matthias would rise from his meditative contemplation and say, I heard my presence being questioned.
Oh, he's back now, at least.
No, I thought you were dead.
The surgery has not been trying, but I approach full effectiveness soon. Memories, you see. Symbiosis with additional machines. negotiations and prayers taking place.
Now, what do you think? Rick says, on the top. I say, take it with us and give it to Sam. What do you say?
I should give it back to the interrogator. He is in the safest hands there. If he should dispose of it, he will put it somewhere secure where we can retrieve it later. He is responsible and he covets this knowledge greatly.
Yeah, whatever is in this book. I still haven't opened it. I'm not going to either.
Indeed, it's already filled with these colorful marks already. Notes, I presume. Human eyes, such limited in spectrums, such bright colors.
Yeah. Well, let's give it back to Sam anyway, yeah.
Eventually, we would give it back to Sam and regroup back.
Okay. You walk back up the stairs.
Now that we have basically the entire day to do whatever we need, what do we need to do? We already took care of the last rogue trader here, and that's pretty much it. Probably other stuff.
I doubt that was the extent of the rogue traders here, but we have
Last known one.
removed one of the greatest obstacles indeed. We have reclaimed that which is by right the Inquisition's property. Inquisitor will greatly see this as a boon. We have served him well. As for proceeding forward, the city still requires our attention, but moves outside of it are already taking place. Only when we get the full extent of the notes of the journal, we can proceed forward. I am, however, interested of what the Archconfessor had said. I wonder, archaeotech pieces of technology present in the city. It wouldn't be surprising they already possess spectre recorders.
No, we could go on a tech hunt for the city.
However, doing so without the interrogator's knowledge or willingness could prove dicey.
Yeah, true. Maybe we should go help train the new recruits that are joining. That seems fun. Yeah, that seems fun.
We should also ask. I wonder if Interrogator Hector is still on the premises.
Well, I saw him walk out the door, but he's probably still here unless he has something to do.
He did.
Look up the stairs and you'll see Hector talking to.
Well, speak of the devil.
Boys, Heresy, slowly approaches the stairs.
I would wave with one hand, the other holding the man catcher as a staff, waving the interrogator to us.
Yes? He sort of shouts across the floor. All the reflective tiles make it really echoey and loud.
Interrogator Hector. How goes the war effort?
The war effort is your responsibility. I am here to protect the Inquisitor and the Archconfessor. Why are you still here?
We are awaiting the Inquisitor, as well as for our...
Awaiting the Inquisitor. He is not coming here.
As well as Interrogator Samuel to finish his study of the journal of Alexios. I presume you understand this is pertinent knowledge that could influence our next movements.
I understand a great deal of things, many of which you do not know. The Inquisitor is on his way to the king now.
What does the Inquisitor wish to ask of the king?
What do you think?
I can think of many things, but only one. But you're the only one who can elucidate what his true intentions are.
Why are you not setting up defenses?
Yes,
Commissar, what is your plan?
Plans are in motion. First, we are looking to reinforce the garrison. Second, to set up Azaks. So, essentially turn each district into a fortification itself. Third, to get the troops back in line. Fourth, to recruit more troops. Fifth, to get more troops down from the void. Sixth, to find more weapons.
Find weapons sounds good. What about the knights? Have you spoken to the king?
As yet, we have not spoken to the king.
He just looks around the room, kind of.
Think you'll actually find that we do not need to speak to the king to recruit more people.
I think you will find that the Inquisitor is there soon. The Archconfessor will be too, and I suggest that you join them.
We will happily join them.
Not now, it is not an order. Do I have to tell you everything? It is like managing babies. You are like children. Why can't you take command on your own?
If initiative is what you seek, Interrogator Hector, then would you be willing to provide me with a piece of information? You said...
Information?
Indeed.
There are enemies among our ranks. There are aliens in the city. There is a swarm coming. We have not found Alexio's hideout. You have the book, and you haven't analyzed it. And we are waiting for your actions. They could attack at any moment, and we are not safe. Nor is the Inquisitor.
So, wait. Hey, Morton, I got a question. Is he still yelling this out?
Plan?
Is this still across the place him yelling it?
It's like a good 3 meters away from you.
Also, he talks loudly just to emphasize the fact
yeah,
that
because I was about to be like, he's
talking to
leaking
us.
secrets right now.
Yeah, he's like talking to the Archconfessor, basically. He's like standing and listening to you both.
Alright. Because I was about to be like, he's leaking secrets, selling this out loud.
If you indeed are interested in the safety of our Inquisitor, you possess the knowledge of the disappearance of our men, correct? I wish you to give us a document which presents the less known location of our patrols in the city, if possible.
So did you say trolls?
Patrols that were disappearing in our city's less known location of theirs.
The men are disappearing from the barracks itself. There is no specific location in the city.
Does the barracks not possess spirit recorders?
Yes. And there is nothing they seem to be leaving on their own, as if they are possessed.
I understand. As Matthias will excuse himself real quick, and proceed to go
We have
on.
vaults to find. We have an archive to find. The source of the storm. The alien base. By the God Emperor, man! What is wrong with you? He kind of breaks the character a little bit and looks back to Archconfessor. Archconfessor, please, Let me take the men. Let me march out. I will meet them. I will personally command our armies. Let me take charge. He will roll influence. Anyone who wishes to oppose him can do so. I will relieve them of their command.
I have no place to roll influence against him. I'm an attaché. I'm not
Might as well try.
position. Oh fuck!
Hey, yo, Commissar, I got one
This is
thing.
an opposed
I'll give it
roll.
to you.
I already have one.
Oh, okay.
It's failure.
Well, he's taking command. If only Sam was here.
Maybe he fails his influence.
You know for a fact he's not.
Morton's rolls are a bit insane.
2 degrees success.
Oddly.
Yeah,
2 degrees success.
checks out.
Well, we lost command.
Oh. Plan to march out and meet them. Well,
Do you have any objections, Commissar?
yes. Many. We cannot afford to squander the very few resources we have. Look about you. Actually, look about you. You sit and berate us, but what have you done? You have done naught. Now you plan to take the very finite resources we actually have out to get slaughtered.
Do not speak out of turn, Commissar. I have been in the field, and I have fought.
I
have
do
led
not
many
doubt
assaults
that.
against the aliens, and
I
I have
do not
won.
doubt that, but
The Commissar
please.
shall know his place, and I relinquish his command. That is all.
Let me speak one last thing. I beg you not to send these people off to their deaths. I understand you are probably a very competent commander, probably more so than I. But we must consolidate.
This is meaningless squabble. We are tasked to find the source of the corruption, to end the pandemonium. If we are to throw our bodies on the pyre, to extinguish it, then that is what we must do.
I request to come with you.
Granted. He slowly turns around and walks up the stairs.
Such foolhardiness. No. Why is it, Richard? Hit the visage in the mirror.
Well, at least they're doing something now. Might end in failure, but at least they tried.
Hector hails from... He wasn't always Ordozenos, but he learned the hate of the alien. He is capable. He has succeeded. His competence goes without question. But I fear that something grips him on a spiritual level. His humors may not be fully balanced. I'll be honest, I do not know how this will end. But one thing is certain. He has command now. Only thing we can do is support him to the best of our abilities, and he is right. We have our own jobs to do.
Hatred may blind him, but it is also a useful tool. He might win, he might lose, but we'll help him anyway.
Is written in a Rise of Volume 2 title, for it is contempt that shields us further than any force field or any armor, for it is contempt that protects our will to fight the enemy.
And too much contempt blinds people.
Don't let the tech priest of Ryza hear you say that.
Good thing I'm never going to Ryza.
I've seen you eyeing some of our plasma weaponries. I doubt if your sentence will hold firm.
And Hector has left. You will hear an engine start and then drive off.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. But unfortunately, I don't believe I will see you again.
Don't die, Commissar. Or at least don't die where we can't see you.
Well, complete the mission. Do your best.
Yes.
We will see ourselves at the end.
Yes. Also, if you do die, at least leave your body recognizable.
At which point he's gonna click his heels and be a salute and march out.
See you again. Perhaps.
Did you wish to go with him, Rich?
No, nah. He can be fine on his own.
Chances are you'll have an easier time with whatever he's going than continuing with us.
You see, you guys seem like you need the muscle. Also, I kind of feel like he might get himself killed, but he can handle it.
His tough. I'll give him that.
Tougher than most.
It will serve him well to learn from under the interrogator Hector.
Maybe you learn restraint. Or, actually, nah. You don't really need restraint. Maybe you learn persuasiveness. Yeah.
I guarantee you, restraint will never be learned from a man such as Hector. He's foolhardy and with bravado, yet he has a reason to act in such a manner.
Bravado has its uses. It does.
Rich, I need your assistance.
Yes, well, let's start this job. Two of us can do almost anything together anyway.
How good are your eyes? As limited in function as they are.
Yeah, better than most. How's would I be able to hunt stuff? Better than most.
I said 2020. Excellent. Hector has presented me with a document which possesses most of the individuals that have disappeared or deserted, as some might say, while we were apprehending the road trader. We have also noticed, if you remember, pit recorders on outside of his premises. I want to see what this individual has, what he knows. Perhaps one of those pit recorders might have catched one of the deserting men. I only pray that desertion is what has overcome them, or the alternative is far worse.
Probably something else, because desertion on this random planet, that's not really gonna work. Especially when there's enemies all around. You can't really escape that by deserting.
The ocean visitors left. Llewellyn will slowly follow. You're the only ones left in the room.
Certain one's influence so readily available. No interest for the old. Rich, I am afraid that we will have to put a pin on this. The Archconfessor has made his move. The Inquisitor will meet with the King. Perhaps we can catch a ride with them.
Yeah, that works. And all the cards come together, as they say, I think. Whatever. Well, let's go.
Roll a d100. You can choose who does it. Choose wisely.
Should I roll?
Not me. Go.
All right, let's see. Does my luck stand for 1d100 or not?
I'm sure as hell mine doesn't.
9d8. I don't know if that's good or not.
Welcome to the fucking squad, Rich. Welcome to the fucking squad.
I forgot if we're supposed to go for
Bro,
low.
is it a curse? Is it the game? Is it the players? I do not fucking know. Just your average roll of 96 and above.
This is not the time you gotta roll a 98.
High is always
this was
good.
the worst possible time for you to roll a 98.
I feel
My
like...
friends, there's
Maybe you
like
should've rolled.
there's like an intermission. This broadcast has been interrupted. And there's like a tune playing in the tune playing in the background. We will be right back after these messages.
I feel like maybe Morten has to make a lot of preparations and maybe we should put a pin on it.
No.
You know,
I like
just...
I like this. I like where this is going. I can't wait for the chaos terrain.
Type in the chat in Discord. Did you roll the 98?
I'm gonna make it for everyone that is...
Do I put it in story planning or
Just
do I
so we
put it in
fucking
the...
know.
I'll put it in story planning because that makes sense.
Jesus, a 98.
Chaos reign.
Morten, why do you find this surprising, honestly?
You see, my man, you should know I love chaos. You should know at this point I love...
Is statistically unlikely, Morten? How about we look at Rund? How about we look at Blood McQueen?
I'm a happy boy right now.
I can't wait for this to happen. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so much fun.
It's been years.
You better go packing next session. You better.
Hey, my man, the new player curse, baby. I make chaos happen no matter what I do.
You better pack your fucking heavy shit.
Hey, at least we healed up before this. This is gonna
be. Okay, you should send out like a. Oh god, I don't even know where to begin. Make sure that people show up next session.
Fuck's sake. VIPs are in danger too.
Bro, everybody's in danger.
Oh, don't tell me they started their siege.
Actually, I'm gonna roll it back. The Inquisitor was secretly in the Pantheon, and he is with you. I'm putting everything on the line. 98. Fuck you
guys. Everything on the line, bro. We cannot retreat. This is it. We're dying here if we have to.
You know, I kind of wish I rolled a 100 now to see what would happen.
This is fucking it. The Inquisitor is in. Okay, so this is the last scene. As you walk up the stairs, you're gonna hear a crack of a gunshot. One of the stormtroopers flies through the window, breaks open. You will see two stormtroopers accompanying the Inquisitor, who was in the next room, storm out up the stairs. And that's where we continue next session. The actual Inquisitor is with you.
Oh god, into the jaws of hell.
Yes. Yes, finally. Well,
okay, you better show up next week, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm showing up next week, that's for sure. Unless something happens to me, I'm showing up next week.
Oh, fudge. Listen, I have never ran away from a 98. I haven't ran away from a flat 100. I'm running now. I'm facing this bitch head on, bat to
Hey,
bat every time.
hey, at least we get to see the Inquisitor die. That's what I'm expecting.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I think your pain might actually fucking end.
Fuck.
You should not roll a 98 on this. Oh my
Yes, I am the one who ended this
Every
campaign.
place has random tables, and this is the worst one.
Ayo, Morton, this is the second time I'm about to end the game. Ah, ha, ha. Ah, ha,
This
ha.
is the worst one.
Should have let me roll. It should have been you, Data. Actually, Data, roll a 1d100. See what you would have gotten.
Bruh, I rolled net hundreds back to back.
No, Data,
Okay,
roll
everybody,
it.
we're
Just
ending the session there.
Alright.
Aaron, yeah boy, roll the 98 on a random encounter.
Ayo, Commissar, roll a 1d100. See what you would have gotten. See if you would have saved us from this madness.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
I want both of you because I want to see if it would have been any better.
Not even random encounter.
95.
Random encounter.
This is an anomaly on my roll. That 7 should be a 9.
Your rolls are so crap.
Dude, Morten, what don't you understand? It's been like this for years.
However, my character actually might now survive.
You gotta go with the scripted option or a random one. I'm not even gonna let you choose.
You rolled a 98. You don't even deserve to choose.
Wait. What you ask?
Forget it.
No. Ask me again, my man. Your voice is kind of low. I have to put you back to 100.
Always have me on 100. What are you talking about?
I have him always at
My
200.
actual volume, my actual computer volume. Because you went back to being very quiet. I'm not gonna lie.
Then, motherfucker.
Yeah, I can't choose.
Flip a coin. I don't really care, my man. I'm a chaos
Dude.
rain. Flip a coin.
Fortune has never been in our favor. Just pick whatever, Morten. You flip it, do whatever you wish. We've never shied away from confrontation.
Flip it. Random. Do you think I should do random?
I mean, it worked with us so far, right?
Okay, so random. 1, 2, and...
Anyway, guys, how many of us do you think are gonna die next session?
It doesn't matter. Right now, it doesn't matter. We're protecting the campaign. You are not thinking of your character surviving.
Yeah, no. I never expect them to.
Main objective is saving the campaign right now.
Nah, main objective pops up.
Oh
survive.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, that says to me, roll again.
Roll again? Okay, I'll let you do one reroll.
No. I like the 98. Let it be.
Okay, no.
Let the chaos reign. I want to see what
No,
happens.
you don't get to reroll the 98. Fuck you. I reroll what actually happens. And it's okay. Yeah, we switched from one thing to another, but I don't think either option is good. So I'm rolling between different random events.
Ah, okay.
And this
It's just
is,
different flavors of being
different
fucked.
flavors of bad events, correct.
You know, I don't know why, but I kind of like the idea of it's just like, oh yeah, we were off and when the Tyranids revive. It was actually tomorrow, what? Looks up in the sky, sun's blooded out. Oh, nah. Hey, 98 isn't that bad, right, guys? It's better than 100, right?
No, it's pretty much the same as an 100.
Oh, it's...
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
I think it works in intermediates of 5 or 10s. I'm not certain. It depends how creative Morten is feeling. If it's If there are multiple locations, it's like terms of tens. If it's a main location, it's terms of fives.
Hey, at least actually, has anyone ever rolled a 1 on this, or at least below 10?
Once, fucking once, we rolled 1, and
Isn't that on when you met the
on Rund?
Aventine?
No, it was on the Rund. And once when we found the what was it? The Saint of Innocent Children?
Right,
the Saint of Children? Yeah.
Saint Wolfram. That was a cool encounter.
How many 100s have there been?
Let me sit you down. Listen here, boyo. Twice on Serif's Madness, 3 times on Rund, 5 times on Blood McQueen, and once, here it hasn't happened yet. But Blood McQueen was fucking hell, dude. It was hell.
That's rough.
We all run without everything from our main base being assaulted by a fuck ton of people, so much so everyone got away with power armor and heavy weapons.
Damn.
Flamer was the name of the day because it didn't matter how hard you hit, it mattered how many you could hit. And then